So today we've got a York 861 and there's some fiddly about. He sent a photo in with it. Yeah, someone's taken a leaf out of my book and done the black and white photos. It's so much easier to see what you've highlighted. So dodgy capacitor, looks like there's a couple of dodgy presets. So we will, there we are, York 861. I still won't remember what we did yesterday, which was the, can't even remember what we did yesterday. Oh yeah, the my Harrier CBX, that's right. Right, I'll get out of my pew and get the Cybernet standard mic out. I won't be that cautious with this set because he's clearly been doing things with it. So we'll go straight for 13.8 volts at 1.6 amp current limit. It's handily coming on channel 20. So we'll switch picture in picture on, and on the back of his letter right, let's see what the transmit's doing. Oh, we haven't plugged the aerial in to the test equipment, so it would be handy if we did that. It's alright me blowing up my own sets, but not with a customer's one. And we'll plug the instrument test speaker malarkey in. There we go. Right, so we'll go on the 3 watt scale. It's doing more than 3 watts. It's doing 3.1 watts. Deviation, wallow, 2.6, it's about there. Test set's been on for a couple of hours, so we'll have a look at what that has to say. The frequency. It's nearly there, he's about there, isn't it? It's neither here nor there. 27,79097. We'll try and pop that up to 125. And now we'll look at receive. So we want 27,79125 on the signal generator. Slightly low, radio slightly low, that's fair then. So we'll go over to Cybernet meter, set that for 12 dB, which is about there. Have to change scales. I'm always between scales. Let's put the volume up a bit. That's better. .68. I'll just show you that. So we're in 1, 6, there's 7, 8. Right, so I'll just pop the lid off without turning the volume up. That's a nice clean example. So what didn't he like? Or is that something he's changed? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, you know how these are absolutely black. These presets. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. La di da di da. Just have to press all the right buttons to do this. Believe it or not. So I'll just read his letter again. You think something's missing off the top? Changes the glasses. No, what you're actually seeing is these are silver plated. Let's just get that one into position. I can't even find where I am. Oh, there we are. So if you can see that preset there, it's black. It's because it's silver plated, and so it's tarnished. So it doesn't matter at all. And here, again, that's a silver plated one, so it's gone black. So that's absolutely nothing to worry about, because it's indicative that it's high quality. So if I went over that with our fiberglass brush, see how we can soon clean the... Am I in the right position? No, there. Straight away, it's totally cosmetic, it really doesn't matter at all. But if I mention this on the video, other people won't think they need replacing, when in fact it's because they're such high quality they are real silver. You wouldn't get that today, would you? When I was doing my apprenticeship, we had to, like you do, clean and overhaul, rebuild an organ, which was about 1909, 1912. And this particular organ builder, Yates of Nottingham, he was what you'd call a gentleman organ builder. He didn't need to make any money. So some of the stuff he did was quite experimental. Go back to the normal position, and he did a lot of organs with electric action, still normal pipe organs, but the way the player's information is conveyed to the pipes was done electrically, and so you have the electrical key contact at the key, and this has been going on since the 1880s. There's been electric action on pipe organs on certain makes. Anyway, the wipers for the contacts, Mr. Groves, my boss, said to me, I want you to take all the wipers off. I've ordered replacements and fit the replacements. So, usual wholesaler, they're copper contact wipers, and they are silver plated on the wiping edge. So I started taking these wipers off. I says, but Mr. Groves, these are solid silver. Just do as you're told, boy. So I did, and I put them in my pocket. He said, put them in the bin. So I didn't. I put them in my pocket and sold them to the scrapyard for 30 quid. You know, when you try and help some people like that, it's unbelievable, isn't it, how they just will not listen. And I wasn't trying to keep them. I was trying to say they didn't need changing, they just needed cleaning up. But there you go. Right, back to doing a radio. Switch it back on. Let's see if we can do the VCO. I think we do it, start on channel 40. And we borrow Mr. Chippy's crocodile clip lead. And this is wood dye on my hands. I haven't been down the coal mine and not washed. that has been washed and washed and washed. There you go. I'm refurnish polishing part of the organ, and that's about 3 days coming off. Not ideal. Look, if that's not gone by Sunday, I'm going to look a right plonker, aren't I, playing the church organ. Glad with no funerals or weddings this week. So test point is far end of resistor 4, 3.98 on transmit, 3.4. Let's just pop that to a bit nearer. Actually, not had to get the instructions out this on this occasion. Of all the things I've missed over the years, it's my memory I've missed the most. No, I've never been able to remember diddly squat. You'd think I'd be able to play all things bright and flipping beautiful without the music after 40-something years, but no. Mind you, I'm not trained to remember music. That's not the way it was or is. So on channel 1, somewhere between 1.8 and 2.5. That's absolutely fine. So a little tiny twiddle there of the VCO, ensuring I take the radio back to channel 20. So we're not left in a silly situation where I've done all the retune on the wrong channel. I've got enough time this afternoon to just do the transmit, if it's doable. Hope none of those cores are cracked. See whether we can get more than 3.1 watts out of it. So here goes. Let's show the right camera. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect. If you need presets, it's Rapid Online who do these skeleton presets. Not all these values, because the preferred values have changed over 40 years. But the values which are available are near enough, I can assure you. So we've not brought it up to anything like, and I need it to really do 3.8 watts. Or really we need to be investigating why. Let's see what current it's drawing. It's only 890 milliamps, so it's not disappearing anywhere. Let's find the right tool. So maximum. Nope. .5. .6-ish. Hey, we've got it. It's just totally out of balance. Look at that, 5.1. I'm just going to go the other way on this one, just see whether we can get a second peak. No, there isn't a second peak. Just make sure we're back to the top. So there we are, 5.2. So this is where we have to get the instructions out, because I can't remember which one's clockwise, which one's anti-clockwise. 4 is clockwise to 4.4 watts. This balance is important Don't think you're going to get an extra couple of 100 yards by leaving it at 5 watts, because it'll do all over the place, and the emissions from spurious would be all over the place too. So legality aside, you're not gaining anything. So what we're doing is going clockwise for 4.4 watts, which is there. We're going anti-clockwise for 3.8 watts, they say, but we're not doing that. We're doing it to 4 watts because you're allowed 4 watts. So now we'll check on channel 1 and 40. They're within 0.1. So I'm on channel 1, spot on 4 watts. I'm on channel 40, spot on 4 watts. I'm on channel 20, spot on 4 watts. That's one of the best ones ever. So we're going to do the power meter to read 4 watts. Currently reads 5. Remember, it's only going to read this when it's on a dummy load. You plug it into an aerial, it might read 1, it might bang across, it means absolutely nothing. It's still doing 4 watts relative to SWR. And you can see why on modern rigs it's pre-programmed, so that when you press transmit, it just goes across to a predetermined amount, whether the set's transmitting or not, because it's a glorified TX meter these days on most sets, not exclusively. So looking around, I can't see any distress capacitors. Sometimes that one suffers if it's been overpowered, sometimes that suffers if it's been overpowered, but none of them have. It's not like the Unidens where you have to change at least 4. Good old Cybernet, they must have used some better parts. So he wants me to unsolder that. We'll do that later. He says he applied possibly too much heat. We'll check that. It's just for spurious emissions. All it, I mean, yes, it is important. It's you could end up with harmonics on other frequencies and things like that. So it is important, but the set will work without it. Deviate. Oh, low power. Let's do low power. So it should be 0.4 of a watt. It's 0.6. That's fine. Just give it a little spray. They're usually dirty, these ones. I don't know why, but they are. 400 milliwatts. That's that. Back to high power. Okay. Deviation. Nearly spot on. I'll just make sure it's how I want it to be. So I want this one to be in the centre. You've got this strange feedback arrangement. It's not far out, but I'm in the wrong octave, aren't I? Why is that? That's where we want to be. £933. Up one note. Oh, that's better. 988 hertz. It's B today. What happens if we go up another? 1 no, we'll go down to B. Right. So this isn't a guitar tuner, as I've said a million times. It's a chromatic tuner, so it does all the notes, not just 6. Because you've 12 notes, haven't you, in an octave, not just 6 for the guitar. Right. Deviation. So, oh, it's just over 2.5. See where that is now. Wallow. It's still actually over the top. Wallow. You do realise you can't go on channel and say, how does my radio sound? Because most of them will tell you it's a load of crap, won't they? because especially lots of people using illegal radios, if you're not in their little clique of using illegal radios, then automatically your radio is crap. I'm telling you that. Right, so I think we've just got time to do some receive. Then I need to put some washing in the washing machine and then go into the chapel and carry on with the organ. So I'm satisfied that we've got to pull the frequency up, haven't we, on this? 79102. Will it go? Spot on. So we've got 4 watts, got 2.2 to 2.5 kilohertz. We've got 2779125. So it's just the receive. I say just the receive. It's very important. So we'll start by putting an S9 equivalent signal of 100 microvolts. And we'll select the oscilloscope on the picture-in-picture. Turn the bench light off, turn the volume up so we've got a decent sized trace, and adjust T12, which was already spot on. Just go with the higher precision tool. Yep, that was spot on. So now we'll go over to the cyanide meter. Switch the oscilloscope off and save 18 watts. I got my water bill yesterday. All these radios going through the dishwasher. Right, here we are. Oh, it's a massive improvement. Bigger signal for the next one. Bigger signal for the next one. Check with a smaller signal. Check with a smaller signal. Go back to the first one, because they're interactive to some extent. Yep, and read off what we've now got. So there's 12 dB. Let's go over to the attenuator. 1 is 0.49. There's the 4, there's the 6, sorry, there's the 5, and we're between the 5 and the last dot there, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So it's 0.49 microvolts. So there we are. That's fantastic. Back to an S9 signal of 100 microvolts. Let's see where the meter is. Not far out at all. So just adjust that. Spot on. And let's see where the squelch is. So squelch to full. Park the signal generator at 0.3 of a microvolt, and here we go. 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts. Squelch has come in, we don't want it to yet. 100 microvolts is where I want it. It's now coming in at 100 microvolts, that's fine. So once again we'll park it at 0.3 of a microvolt. I've switched the signal generator to standby. turn the squelch down, carefully set threshold, switch the signal generator back on. This is a better one than yesterday. Coming in at 2.7 of a microvolt, 0.27 of a microvolt, going off at 0.2. Never the best squelchers, but a competent enough squelch. There we are. Now he's asked me to look at this. So unsolder and we'll test this capacitor. Don't know where my other probe is, but we'll hold it on. No! So, it says 44 nanofarads and it's 47 nanofarads on the capacitor. So it's absolutely spot on. So there's no problem with that at all. So we'll solder it back on. Bridge right to check. And although this is an industrial soldering iron, we do have higher temperature tips on other benches. This is the number 7 tip. So that's nice. There's no no spikes on that. So that's absolutely fine. I think that covers everything in his letter. Yep, very nice. So I can't demonstrate public address to you because it doesn't have public address. I ought to put "I was here" on it. So I'm sure this will work beautifully around Scratchy Corner. Don't know how many parts that base station is going to be in. We may have to order parts. It's come in from another dealer on behalf of an end user from Yorkshire, and he says that the type of modification board it's had does away with the normal synthesizer. So we've got to start by fitting a replacement LC7137, which we have got in stock for about $16.50, $16.99, whatever they are. And we know ours are genuine because they've got very tarnished pins. So I've got to spend quite some time filing the pins before we start. But that's how you... This is what I say, there's a lot of fake transistors out there on AliExpress and that. Labelled audio transistor rejects. And you can usually tell because they're nice and shiny, because a lot of these transistors, which are 20, 30, 40 years old, are going to have tarnished pins. So we'll turn the test gear off because we are there, and we will now put in, we'll unplug the speaker, just switch it back on, yet to its own speaker. That works. Plug it into the aerial and see if they're still swearing in Nottingham 35 miles away. One niner Roger. Notice instant channel change, no waiting. Not modern sets, adjust, wait, adjust, wait, adjust, wait. Breaker on the side. Well, that won't help, will it, with some... One on a Roger. It's probably lunchtime, they're still having their nose bag. So we won't prop it up under a screwdriver, we will put it under the Bench Cookie Plus, ready for on the air test. Right, on the air test with unusable, isn't it? Thanks for watching. York 861, lovely set, 1981.